This is a regular board meeting of the Whitko Community Schools. Social distancing will be followed during this meeting. If you have any symptoms or are at risk, it's especially important to stay home and avoid in-person contact with others. Per Governor Holcomb's executive order and for the safety of all Whitko students and staff, masks are required. We are at 1.0, call to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. All stand, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin by recognizing the media. We have Teresa Carano from the Tribune News. Thanks for being here. We have a special presentation by the Whitko Career Academy. Mr. Joe Luce will begin.
Hello. I think I'm far enough away. I'll take this now.
Thank you.
Here we are. All right. So the packet I put in front of you has just a real, hopefully, quick agenda of things that we go through to highlight a little bit more after tours that we had today about what has been going on here, is going on, what the future looks like, and hopefully just get you some information and also see some faces and some pictures of some of our students and our teachers today, a video, give you a little bit of idea of what's going on. But first of all, our student of the month, named Anna Hurd, and you can see there on highlight number one, Mrs. Peters just commented on what an exceptional student that Ms. Hurd is and how much she goes out for culinary. She's our Whitko Career Academy Student of the Month. And then the next one down, the North Indiana Fame Program. Connects with Ivy Tech and recognized two of our students. And if you go to the bottom of bullet point 2, it talks about Morgan Miller and Aiden Hoffman, both being selected in this program that's just beginning. They're going to be hired by the respective businesses that are listed, and then we'll have a chance to get an associate's degree through Ivy Tech. And it's quite an honor. That's all of the schools in our part of the state that they were selected, and will be recognized at Whitko with a celebration with their parents, the businesses in January, and then all of the chosen students by Ivy Tech and the businesses and the training program beginning of April. So quite an accomplishment. And for us to have two students says a lot about the quality of students that we have. Next is Dr. Jeff Beer. He's going to talk about Manchester experience. He's a professor at Manchester University. One of the things that we have been working on is not just having career classes, but offering a balanced opportunity for when they become seniors, that if they'd like a post-secondary education opportunity, maybe they would go and be a part of Manchester University. During the same time, they could possibly come to the Career Academy or do a work-based learning. And so Jeff's going to present to you about the Manchester opportunity that our students could have a possibility to.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, board members, for allowing me to come in tonight in public. I want to recognize some of my colleagues. Again, my name is Dr. Jeffrey Beer of the Exercise Science Department here at Manchester University. I've been there for 15 years. My colleagues over here, Dr. Shane Thompson. He's the Director of Executive Education and Professor of Modern Languages, as well as Ryan Theo, who is my Vice President of Enrollment Department. So we're here tonight just to give you a quick overview of what that experience can look like. When I first talked to Joe, the biggest thing we wanted to do is create an opportunity. Is to create an opportunity for junior and senior level students at Whitko Career Academy or Whitko schools. Our goal is to allow those students to involve in a track at Whitko Career Academy that will lead them down a path that may get them on our campus to get that Manchester experience. We have seen in the past a lot of students that don't retain well their first year at university education essentially are scared of the system, don't understand the system, don't navigate the system very well. This opportunity would allow these students a different track at WCA during their junior, senior years to come to Manchester, come to us between 9 and 11 hours, just like they do for WCA, and give them that experience, that high-level higher education experience. While they're on our campus, they essentially would be enrolled in earning college credit. Anywhere from 1 to 2 courses can be taken a semester. We have a bunch of different opportunities for them in different areas that we've basically vetted within our Manchester University system. Some of those areas are in education, business, accounting, art, exercise science, psychology, sociology, criminology, and Spanish, just to name a few. There are several other opportunities that those students can be enrolled in. The goal is to get them on our campus, so again, they see the system, they work the system, and they're able to navigate the system. So they have opportunities for, to deal with registration, advising, success centers, writing centers, tutorial centers, anything to help them be successful and to earn college credit. Now this college credit is given at a weight discounted rate. To give you an example, a student from this institution or any high school that coming to Manchester would take $120 per credit. So for example, a 3-hour credit class would cost them $360 versus a traditional student at our university part-time would be $780 a credit. So at that 3 credit hour class would then cost them $2,340. This whole system, whole thing that we came up with Joe and my colleagues, essentially is just to offer an opportunity. There is no requirement by having a certain number. We're not looking to earn a certain amount of revenue. Our goal is to then just give our classes to your students at a very discounted rate so they have the opportunity to experience what that higher education life is like. So that hopefully they can navigate that, and down the road it will help them matriculate into their sophomore, junior, and senior levels of graduation, as opposed to, again, the great opportunities that you have here. And I would end with a quick note by just saying, when WCA started, as a parent with 2 kids in this system at freshman and 7th grade level, I was real skeptical about what this whole opportunity was going to bring. To be honest with you, I was thought that our kids were being pushed basically just to fulfill a building, all right, and to move along something that we couldn't get rid of. And I was sadly wrong with that. It wasn't until I started dealing with Joe and digging deeper into what you guys are doing with WCA that I turned 180 degrees to understand that this is a great opportunity for the students of our system, and this is just another track and opportunity for these kids. And so this is what we would like to start working with WCA on. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to 3.0. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't know that 25 minutes to fill up.
Okay.
Oh, I won't do this every time. All right, so now I have a couple of great videos to show you. 4 minutes and 58 seconds.
My dreams are to open my own shop and hire people, just welding my own shop and hire people, just welding simple things, fabricating simple things, and hopefully own not a big company, but a company that can support my family, my dad, my mom. They've done so much, I want to give back to them. Right now, we're using 80/20 material, and we got some material that we bought to build portable welding booths that can slide in and out of the way. And then on this machine side, we're working on Haas training right now. Just some simple programming we're learning, like simple codes and stuff like that. For some people, they've never welded before, and it's cool to see people who have welded and people who haven't welded work together as a team. The welding instructor, Mr. Oken, is really helpful with that, combining those 2 groups. And then the machining side, learning the basics of how to run those machines. You need to know how to use them before you can run them for safety purposes. And plus, you can use that in the job site. So if you know how to use that machine, then that's beneficial to you. Because when you learn from other people, your experiences go up. And you have different people with different ideas of how they weld, that benefits you. After I leave the Career Academy, I hope to be certified. I could find a job, learn from other people, they can teach me what they know, keep on growing my name, my brand, keep on growing, and then hopefully own my own business, have that out there in the workforce is what I hope for my own business.
Right now I'm in the engineering and design course. Overall, we operate these machines here, different 3D printers, and we have laser engravers. Our main goal is to find problems and fix them in the best way possible. To start off, we had to generate the code for it. So we take these blank pieces and we have to find, after creating the fidget spinner on a 3D model on the computer, you can find different points around it. And with the different coding in these machines, you can have it so it can read those coordinates and plot out a path through your tool to cut out this fidget spinner. And we will be making hopefully a few of them today. I love just working with my hands and working through things, trying to find different avenues that things can be done, and just trying to make different things better. Hopefully, I'm looking for, with the Career Academy, there's potential job placement opportunities that could help me in the future in college and could potentially help my degree. So they would, I would work there to get job experience, and then they would also help me pay for my courses so I can get the degree for that job. If you just love working with your hands, or you just put things together like without even knowing it, or just messing with different machines and little tools like that is perfect. And it's what I have done my whole life and led to the decision of me being in this class.
In the yellow folder, that white folder, the agenda is what I'm working off right here. This is just the presentation. We're on number 6, or excuse me, on number 5. And just to move down through those quickly, just to highlight some of the things that are going on with our staff and our students. We're currently in a professional development opportunity for our student with Mike Gorman, Region 8, and his group, learning about project-based learning. And everybody said they do project-based learning. We're going through the training process of 9 weeks with his group, and then we will, in the last 9 weeks, actually be fulfilling project-based learning experiences for all of our students at the Career Academy. Moving forward, all freshmen will always have that experience, which will check box 2 on our graduation pathway through the Career Academy. 4-year planning. Steve Dupker is the ASK program, former administrator in the area. He is here during the winter, during the summer and the winter. He's in Arizona. He was back here recently visited. We've blown away with the things that we have going on, but the ASK program is an opportunity to put together a 4-year plan that is geared towards what the state of Indiana requires you to offer your students, along with other data that backs up making sure that we're not just playing careers out here, we're not just playing in the barn, we're not just doing a little welding, but we're looking towards futures, careers, and we're doing it right. The ASK program is something that we've been working on diligently. On Monday, Tony Harrell, Assistant Director of the CT programming with the Governor's Workforce Cabinet, is visiting our school. For him to make a 3-hour drive and to visit us is really a great opportunity for the Academy to get heard about the things that we have going on, to inquire, and is making that visit next Monday. As talked about just the fact that we're really on the cutting edge of lots of academies and what is taking place, and wants to visit and just firsthand experience of being here. So we're looking forward to that visit next week. The next one is dual credits. I put in a list, the next page in there is a list of all the dual credits and the teachers that we have teaching them at the Academy right now. Currently, we have 19 dual credit classes offered at the Career Academy. 201 students are enrolled, taking dual credits, and that will total 603 college credits at the end. I'm careful to write anything on this paper that I can't back up, and so I'm not just picking those out of the air. Those are the students. Some of them are duplicates, and you might have a student that is in 2 or 3 dual credit classes, but the actual number of students taking is 201, and it's 3 credits per class. So we have quite a bit going on with the dual credits. It's outstanding, and very pleased with that. And then the next is just a flow chart of what it looks like for the Career Academy, from the junior high experience to where they choose one of the freshman academies. Listed there are the next level courses that you can also find on the page behind where it says Perkins 5 Next Level Programs of Study. We're not forced to do that for 2 years, and we're going ahead and we have training and getting that lined up to begin that next year, so that we are ahead of the curve, beginning the next level programming. And what that means in a nutshell is, if you were to look at, for example, look at criminal justice. Right now, in the Perkins 4, you're criminal justice 1, criminal justice 2. In the Perkins 5, and with the next level programming, they, instead of 6 credits, it's 2 credits per class, 1 per semester. So they'll take principles of criminal justice, law enforcement, and culture awareness, and courts and corrections. So they'll actually get 3 classes instead of just the criminal justice 1. And then the capstone is in the second year of those courses. But the sophomore, junior, and senior year, those are all the programs. And then the senior year, when they get their senior year, they have a chance for a work-based learning opportunity if they'd like. They also could do continued programming or capstone here. The Manchester Experience at Turf-Out, which again is to balance all the career stuff that we've been talking about. And then they could also stay academically just at the junior, senior high school and work on more courses that they wanted to take. But I thought that'd be helpful for you to have that, see all the classes we're teaching, what that flow chart looks like. The next is a 4-year plan that shows you that we have available 64 total spots for classes. And the Core 40 diploma, the next sheet's the Core 40 diploma, honors diploma, technical honors. We should not have a problem with anybody being able to receive these diplomas at any point in their career. Now, making that happen with the current students, we've had to work with schedules, we've done that, and every one of them we address individually. But moving forward, 64 spots, you should be able to achieve about whatever you want to achieve at Whitko Community Schools, which really says a lot about what we've been able to offer. The scheduling that's taking place, the collaboration with the high school, Mr. Everett, and his staff, and really feel good about the schedule that we have in place. And then the last page, and then I'll wrap up. This is just a list of all of our classes and the current projects that they're working on. And I won't read all those to you, but I would ask you to read them, take a look at them. Our teachers took time, and our students to talk about what they want to share with you. And then they brought down some samples that are down here that I'd love for you to take a look at if you're leaving. I'll just show you one that this is from criminal justice, and this is a shoe casting. And as you can see, they did this in class, and they are working on crime scenes, and this is shoe casting that they were able to come up with. I kept my 6 feet, sorry. And all of the projects down here are stuff that the kids would like to, for you to see. You saw these being made on a video, and there's also certificates from our nursing program. The Education Professional Handbook is there. I made extra copies if you'd like one. So I just asked to take a look at it. The cornhole boards that our construction classes made, but there's just some samples for you to take a look at. So with that, I tried to get you a quick picture of the academy that I was asked to. Are there questions or comments that I can address at this time?
I was just wondering, do we have it worked out where students can definitely get both the academic honors diploma and the technical honors diploma if they would like to have each?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Now, again, with the current seniors, juniors, we would have to look at those. The blanket statement of yes, we cover your sophomores and your freshmen, incoming freshmen next year. As far as your juniors and seniors, each individual case, but we should be able to, if not already in progress, should be able to have that yes taken care of.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to number 3, approval of minutes. Dr. Penrose.
Thank you. We are presenting the following meetings, minutes of the meetings for your review. We have the December 14th of 2020 regular session, the January 14th, 2021 Board of Finance reorganizational session, and the January 14th, 2021 executive session. Be glad to read any of those aloud for any, or if there are any questions, and if not, I would recommend that that you ask for a motion and a second.
Do I have a motion? Is there any discussion?
Are you asking for a motion?
Yeah.
I will move that the December 14, 2020 regular session, January 14, 2021 Board of Finance reorganizational, and the January 14th executive session meetings all be approved.
Do I have a second? We have a motion to approve the minutes for December 14th, January 14th Board reorganization meeting and executive session, and it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. Moving on to 4.0, department reports. 4.1, principal of the Pearson Elementary.
Good evening. I'm going to refer to a few of the items in my report. Not going to read through everything, but I did want to highlight a couple of things on this report. In the category of teaching and learning update, I'm going to highlight the teacher collaboration sessions that are back on track. We love these conversations because that's when the teachers get to really discuss their content and their instructional practices and really examine the high priority standards to determine if there is maybe a better way that a colleague has. Really a lot of sharing of ideas and great work there. And then also looking at those common assessments to make sure that we are on track with the students to master those high priority standards. One other thing real quick on that teaching and learning, the math committee, that's a district-wide committee. We do meet regularly and have been, but I'm really excited about the feedback I'm hearing. The task for the committee members were to try out a unit in their own classrooms for January, and I'm already hearing some really positive things that the teachers are seeing in some of our choices. So we're very excited about coming back together at the end of the month for more discussion. Under school climate and culture, one thing we did this year to kick off 2021 was to have our teachers and staff think of their one word for 2021. And they did a great job. They were so creative with their signs, and it was such a cool idea that they actually passed it on to some of their students. So some of our students are also thinking of their one word for 2021. So those will be displayed in the main hallway at Pearson. And the last thing I want to share is we had a Pearson spelling bee that actually ran into day 2 because they were doing such a great job. So we did get a winner. Our PES winner is Alyssa Romine, and our runner-up is Christopher Alonzo. But everybody did a great job, and it was a nail biter. So it was pretty neat to see them be so successful. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Will they be at the Kosciuszko County Spelling Bee then?
Yes, they will. Yes, they go to the Kosciuszko one.
I hope with that. Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Southwood Elementary Principal Brian Emmert.
He's actually out right now, but he sent me this. If you want me to read it, I'll read it real quick. 6th grade girls basketball began practicing. Mr. Mays sent out a schedule of games with their first game to be held on February 1st at Pearson Elementary. The boys team was very successful and competitive with the combined schools, and we hope to see that success with our girls program as well. South Whitley students are completing their NWEA MAPS winter assessments this month. Distance learning students and their parents, guardians will receive a phone message at the end of this week to invite them in for testing. We will provide a room for testing that allows social distancing and areas for students to work. And then finally, on February 3rd, South Whitley students will be celebrating the 12th annual World Read Aloud Day. Students will be invited to dress up as their favorite book character that day and will be treated with a special guest appearance by an author via a virtual meeting. Students will celebrate books and hear stories read aloud. Thank you to our reading committee members for putting this together. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our Special Education Grants and Curriculum Director, Ryan.
Good evening. This is somewhat of an abbreviated month that we're going to review in your received packet. I'm just going to touch on some highlights that are very important for us to reiterate. Clean environments for those students that are experiencing education virtually, because they will have to come in. The state is not making any sort of concession for those students that are virtually learning, so they will have to participate in person. And I know that all of our administrators at all of the schools are taking precautions, whether it's separate days, clean areas. I think Mr. Everett even said that they were in the process of building a home for those students. So that's an important topic that I wanted to touch on just briefly. The eye test retest will begin here the second part of February, or the 2nd of February, and WIDA access testing has begun. Actually, the window opened last week, but our testing began today, and happy to report that we didn't have any incidents. I would also, I'm going to move on. I know that we have information regarding grants related to Title 1D, but I'm going to touch on our high ability, just because that's something that I find to be close to my heart, and I enjoy participating in that. begin meeting and looking at their instruction, sharing what they've been doing. And as you can see in your packet, we completed the OLSAT and COGAT testing for grades 2, 5, 8, and we're in the process of working on kindergarten at this point. And then moving on to special education, we will talk just briefly about something that really is dear to my heart, and that's the pre-apps, pre-employment and transition services that we will be bringing to all students with an IEP or 504. And in Whitko Community Schools, it's a fair number of students. What the pre-employment transition services will do is allow those students to receive 5 points of core services that will assist them as they move forward, whether it's here at the career gap, or whether it's once you're able to move freely through community in a community-based employment opportunity. We are working with passages out of Long City, a local Whitman County organization, which is in the process of merging with Easter Seals. I'm sure we're all familiar with Easter Seals. They're based out of Allen County, and they're one of the largest providers. They saw what we were doing, and they wanted to work with us. And so they would produce the video that actually Easter Seals and passages will be using, highlighting what we will be doing here at Whitko and here at the career gap in particular, because I think I've said this before, where other districts are unable to experience career transitions right now under normal circumstances because of the pandemic restrictions. Our students aren't. They're able to get that type of experience because of what's happening here. So we're really very fortunate and blessed that something like this, an organization like Easter Seals and Passages wants to work with Whitko. They came to us. And that says a lot about what's going on. Those are the keys that I wanted to talk about. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we have Transportation and Maintenance Director, Jim Bumbo.
Good evening. Let's have a couple of things real briefly. We're continuing our exploratory stage on the scan in, scan off of the students coming on and off buses, the GPS tracking, and the applications for phones and parents that will be able to get alerts instantly. We had a couple of meetings with Tyler Technologies, which is our current software vendor, and Zonar, which is the units that are installed on Thomasville buses. We're trying to get some quotes as far as the initial investment. Once that's going to be required to get us up and running on that, and I've not gotten those yet. When I do get those, I'll be able to present those. And that is something we'll be able to use to a match on our school safety and security grant. So hopefully we can get those soon. We can get implementing this program, because I think it's going to be extremely beneficial to the corporation. Also, the annual state police bus inspection is scheduled for March 29th and 30th this year. Our buses are in always in great shape. This is just a formality, that annual inspection, which I don't foresee any problems. And then I'd like to publicly just thank Mike Sands. We've been extremely stretched in the transportation department as far as buses. I've been running routes pretty much every day. Learned from Mike and his willingness to step out of that retirement bubble that he's in and get out and help us. We would ran into some problems. So I'd just like to publicly thank him. That's all I have.
Thank you. It is great that he came back to help us. On the scanning, what happens if a student forgets their card? How do you deal with that?
On the Tyler Technologies, they'll have a tablet that's installed on the dash, will be mounted there. The driver can actually flip through tap that student, kind of like a lunch line where they can just tap the picture and it'll log that student got on the bus there. That's also beneficial for like substitute drivers because it'll throw a picture of the student up there. So if you're in an area where 10 students are getting on the stop, you can physically look at the picture and match it to the student getting on the bus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Whitko Athletic Director, Julius Mays. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have Whitko Junior Senior High School, Jake Everett. Sorry, Jake.
Good evening. A couple things to highlight from Board of Work for January. First is just our Students of the Month, the Junior Senior High. Pleased to announce that Guy Howard and Caitlin Hamilton have been nominated and selected as the Students of the Month of Whitko Junior Senior High, selected by their teachers. Also, just to mark off there, the Gradway fundraiser. Some of our students were able to do some fundraisers towards the end of first semester, towards that holiday. They were able to raise over $800 in the last weeks of schools, and we were able to split that to 2 families in our community, and special need during the holiday season. So just want to thank everyone who was involved in that donation. And just a couple upcoming events. It's kind of testing window right now in January and February between NWA, PSAT, ASVAB, and ISTEP, which is a lot of letters, but some important tests coming up, especially highlighting the ASVAB and ISTEP, as those are graduation requirement examinations for some of our upperclassmen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now it's time for Whitko Athletic Director, Julius Mays.
I don't have much, but I did want to take this time to kind of publicly apologize to the community. Right before Christmas break, leading into Christmas break, we were having some extreme technical difficulties with the streaming. It's already been difficult for all of the community, our families, and our fans of not being able to attend the events. So when the streaming was bad, obviously I felt bad and felt like that I failed, but I was glad working with the technology department, and we got it fixed and got it figured out. So hopefully it's been 10 times better. I haven't heard any complaints lately, so I'm thinking that we're on the right page there. Beside that, just bearing with the restrictions that that's been deemed on us from the county, and trucking through the winter and looking forward to the spring, and that's about it.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you to our technology department for your hard work on that. Okay, and next we have Director of Social Emotional Learning, Kelly Goody.
Good evening. I just wanted to share a couple highlights from the last month. Back in November, we shared that Whitko Junior Senior High School will be implementing Sources of Strength this school year. And Sources of Strength, I shared a little bit about it back in November, but it was originally created as a suicide prevention and awareness program, and it's grown into much more than that. And it allows students to look towards all of the different strengths that they have in their life when they are trying to overcome some type of difficulty. So in December, we had regional trainers come from Sources of Strength, and provide a virtual training to 16 of our staff members, and which is really awesome. We had administrators, counselors, mental health therapists, support staff, as well as teachers. And then on January 7th, almost 100 peer leaders joined us for a virtual training, which was really remarkable that we had that many students who wanted to participate, who actively participated in a virtual training, so that was really exciting. So we will begin meetings with all of the adult advisors as well as the peer leaders more regularly as we implement this program for all students. And then also another really exciting piece that I wanted to share with all of you tonight is that back in August, the Department of Education shared something called a micro-credentialing opportunity specific to social emotional learning. So it's basically like a grant without a specific dollar amount tied to it. And so we applied for this, and it's referred to as micro-credentialing. So teachers will be able to learn a little bit more about social emotional learning in an area that's a little bit more of an interest to them. And so the micro-credentialing process refers to them getting direct feedback versus just going to some conference, getting information, and then kind of moving on. So it's direct were allotted 4 spots. I'm still trying to work on getting a couple more if there's some openings. And so each of the principals from all the buildings selected a teacher in their building who had shown interest. And we will begin this process with those teachers in our district.
Thank you. We will move on to item 4.2, superintendent update.
Thank you. District update on enrollment. As of Friday, we had 1,243 students, and that is exactly what we reported on our ADM count day back in September on the 18th. Again, 1,243 students. And no financial donation or no donations at this time. And then our financial update. This is our year end, and so we kind of already went over this in our Board of Finance meeting on Friday or Thursday, just in a different format. But this is kind of a format you're probably more used to seeing in our monthly meetings. So at the top, we have our appropriation report, and this is again as of the last day of December 2020. We see our month-to-date expended at $974,715.05. Our year-to-date expended $8,819,005.32. Our unexpended balance then of $1,739,310 had an encumbrance rolling forward of $6,456.19. So our unencumbered balance is the difference there, and that is $1,732,853.81. So we were 83.59% encumbered in the education fund. Our debt service appropriation there, just over $3.1 million. Our month-to-date expended, and if you remember, we don't have a whole lot of or any bills in out of this fund for most of the year. We pay in December, and so we see $1,462,838.44 paid in December. Our year-to-date expended is the $3,124,189.69, leaving unexpended balance of $88,0156. And that is also unencumbered, and so that's 99.72% spent or encumbered at the end of the year. Our appropriation for the 300 fund, which is operations, we spent $542,668.21 in December. Our year-to-date of $4,860,932.12. Our unexpended balance then of $916,824.83. And rolling an encumbrance forward of $160,042.66, and unencumbered balance of $756,782.17, and our percent encumbered was just under 87% at 86.9. We did not spend out of our rainy day fund 610. So then our fund balances there, we see the 101 fund, our education fund, the beginning of the year, just under 2.7. Our revenue for the year at $9,697,520.44. Our year-to-date expended $8,819,5.32, which is the same as that appropriation report in the same column up at the top. The beginning of the month balance for the 101 fund is $3,576,499.83. We brought in $970,541.05 in December, and we spent $974,715.05, which leaves our balance at the end of the year at $3,572,325.83. Our debt service fund started the year with $1,452,940. Our year-to-date revenue just over $2.84 million at $2.844. $1,124,189.69. Our beginning of the month balance, it's $1,456,438.34. We received a lot of revenue in December based on property tax and when that's settled for this particular fund, and then our month-to-date expenses are the debt that we owed, and so that's that $1,462,838.44. Our current balance there is $1,173,279.93. You'll notice that's a little bit short of where we began the year, and that's because it's a debt service fund. There was a time when we could levy for more in debt service than what we are allowed to now on certain debts, particularly those incurred after July 1 of 2016. And so we spend down that balance a little bit. and that is a way to kind of help with our tax levy. There's no reason for us to collect money just to sit it in the bank and not do anything with it, and so we have to have a little bit of a balance in there to make sure we can make a payment if something goes wrong with our property tax system. But there's also no reason to hold on to, in this case, about $280,000 if we don't need to do that. And so you'll see a little bit of dip there. In 300, which is our operations fund, we started with $669,798. We received revenue of $4,728,812.74 with our expenses of $4,860,932.12. Beginning of the month balance, and again, this is a property tax fund, so it kind of ebbs and flows, and it drops quite a bit from July through November, and then bumps back up in December. So our month to date, beginning in December, was $1,584,424.24. We got our property tax settlement at $1,495,922.59, along with any other additional miscellaneous revenue. We spent $542,668.21, and that leaves our balance at $2,537,678.62. And then in our rainy day fund, that 610 there, we started the year with $1 million, and we ended December with $1 million. Thank you.
Comments on agenda items. I don't believe we have any public comments at this time. Anyone to sign up? Moving on to 7, consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Or are there questions, specific questions about them?
Question, language. I guess I would just like an explanation of 7 or 8. I'm not sure what those are. ONE Corporation, 16,000.
Which document are you on?
ONE Corporation. ONE Corporation, 16,849.
Oh, CME. CME is the corporation that did the work down here in the on the ag wing of WCA, and that's pay app number 5. So that was part of the project approved back in the summer of 2020. We'll have to look that one up. They were here working on they were in our district. They work on HVAC, so it could be boilers, chillers. I'll have to look up what that particular proposal was. 1117. Yeah, hang on a second. James is a supplier of our health science program, and for supplies for health science here at their career academy. MedStat we outsource our nursing services, so MedStat provides our nursing services, and that is with the 3 people, 1 at each building, and then also their administrative fee. And I can tell you that our nursing services have increased in amounts that we're paying due to COVID and contact tracing. So there's the quote number. I'll have to look exactly what that is, but they supply gases for such as welding gas, our oxygen for welding, some of the other programs like that. We don't get a whole lot of space in that spot to write down what the memo is, so I'd need to pull that quote number 205546 or 6417, and then I could tell you exactly what
Brandon, they were like 1,300 reimbursed legal expense.
that was it was at our last meeting. It might have moved in a different account, but that was our last meeting that was approved, and that was for the attorney, the second attorney's opinion on some of the MOU that we were doing last month.
Like Shandong, so it's 275,000.
That was October, November draw. We charged that to the correct fund because it was charged somewhere, and then we need to charge it back to the Career Academy, to the 80/20 grant.
Yoder Construction, 20,000.
What was it, Yoder? Yoder is the construction for the ag facility approved back in the summer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda shown in 7.1 through 7.3? I will need a motion to accept. Do I have a motion?
You need a motion.
Yeah, that's just a motion.
I move that we accept all the items in the consent agenda, 7.1 to 7.3.
Do I have a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded to accept all the consent agenda items. All in favor, signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion passes. Moving on to new business, Dr. Penrod.
Can we back up to 7.4? Was the motion for 7.1 through 7.4 or 7.3?
Oh, 7.3. 7.4 personnel. We have discontinuation, Sean Lickey, WJSH JV softball coach, Dana Day, junior high girls assistant track coach, Fred Stoppel, junior high boys assistant track coach, Tara Mays, WCA administrative assistant, Lisa Bouts, WJSH cafeteria, employment actions, Michael Howard, long-term sub at Whitko Junior Senior High School for history, a change in position, Danny Brewers, sub-custodian to WCA part-time custodian, and Carly Yeager from WJSH secretary to WCA administrative assistant, and request for extended leave of absence.
I move that we accept the personnel, I'm not going to read all
That's fine.
that have been reported.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor of accepting the personnel items? Aye. All those opposed? Nay. 8.0, old business. Dr. Penrod, and new business.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Is that this time correct? For old business?
Yeah, no business, no old business.
New business?
Thank you. We are requesting permission to purchase two buses, a mini and an 81 passenger through Curlin Bus Sales. These buses will replace the three in our current fleet, which have met the 12-year maximum allowance. Just a little background, we this is part of our bus replacement plan, the 12-year plan that we have to go through as far as the budget process every year, and so this is typically the time that we ask for permission to do that. We also we go through a bid process. We don't need to ask for the bids, so we go through a quantity purchasing agreement, and so Curlin is the choice as far as the lowest cost. And fortunately, they're somewhat local here and real close to us anyway. So I would recommend that we do that we buy one mini and one 81 passenger.
So is that just a typo where it says 3 and then 2?
Yeah, I believe we're buying 2, I believe, but I think we are trading in 3 if I remember right. Is that correct, Jim? Yeah. One of each, right? Yeah. The number 3, or the letters 3, the word 3 should be a 2. Sorry.
A motion to approve this purchase?
I make a motion to purchase 2 buses, 1 mini and 1 81 passenger through Curlin Bus Sales.
Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded that we purchase 2 buses, 1 mini and 1 passenger. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raise your hand. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The motion passes. Moving on to 9.2.
For 9.2, we are requesting to enter into an MOU and a paid leave resolution with Whitko Classroom Teachers Association, as well as our non-certified staff. The MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, is attached, and also the paid resolution. We would ask that those be retroactively and voluntarily provide 2 weeks, which is 80 hours for full-time employees, or a part-time employee's 2-week equivalent of additional paid sick leave to eligible staff. All paid leave shall be requested and granted in the same manner as required or permitted by the EPSLA, any applicable Department of Labor regulation or other federal law, and all unused leave would expire on April 30th, 2021. And a little history behind this, the Congress originally passed a law to allow this for these 10 days. That law expired December 31st. They passed another one, I believe, December 27th, that allowed us to extend what was until March 31st. We, as a public school, we don't necessarily get the same tax advantages as what the law allowed for. And so basically we were just using the leave provision, not the tax advantage. And so, we asked, why can't we do our own? Because they only allowed us to extend it to March 31st, which is fine, but I think to be more beneficial to our staff, a little bit later date would be nice. And so we kind of said, well, what's to stop us from extending our own leave policy, whether you call it COVID leave or whatever. And so we're asking to basically follow the congressional guidelines, but we're extending it to April 30th instead of March 31.
Do I have a motion to approve the MOU and paid leave resolution with the WCA to amend the 2019-21 teacher agreement as presented? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor of approving the MOU and paid leave resolution with WCA to amend the 2021 teacher agreement as presented, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the motion passes. 9.4.
Okay, 9.4, real quick on 9.3, now that MOU will become part of our teacher's contract, and so we will, I'll ask you to sign it tonight, and then we'll get that to Gateway, Herb would eventually take it. We'll get that to them in the morning. So 9.4, approval is sought for a change to the 2020-2021 Whitko school year calendar. This change would align a scheduled e-learning day, which is currently April 29th, rescheduled to April 22nd, with a day currently scheduled for no school on April 23rd, allowing for 2 consecutive days off. We believe this change will be easier on families of Whitko who rely on outside childcare. We asked for the board to approve this last year, and we were wrong in our thinking about when the South Whitley garage sales were, and so the intent was to take that. We take that Friday off. The intent was to take the Thursday as an e-learning day right beside that Friday. We thought it was going to be the 29th, 30th, and May 1st, and it is the 23rd, 24th instead. So we just asked for that clerical error there.
I move that we make a motion to approve the modified calendar as presented.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor of approving the modified calendar as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. Item 10, miscellaneous administrative items
I do not have any at this time.
and school board items. Upcoming board meetings, we have our next meeting, February 15th, 2021, regular board session meeting will be here at 6:30 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?